CLC Stage 2 Grammar Screencast 2018 version. All right, so in this Grammar Screencast, which we'll be doing a day before the class, we're going to review the new nouns. We're going to add a couple variant declensions, but really it just gives you practice more on the noun declensions, which are your basic foundation. We'll cover the accusative object phrase, and we'll cover two new prepositional phrases, the odd plus accusative limit and the X plus ablative source phrase. So let's take a look. So in the last chapter, we learned first and second. We learned second, neuter, and third. Now we're going to learn the ones that go in between. The second variant, puer, second declension nouns that end in er, not too many of them, but you need to know them, but it's really second declension, right? Same endings. Where's the only difference? In the singular nominative. And then to I, that means that the stem has an I on it. Other than that, it looks just like hortus. Hortus, gladio, horti, gladii, horti, gladii, hortos, gladios, hortis, gladii. See the double I there? And then everything else. So get your highlighter ready. Let's start with chunking. So instead of remembering, what would this be, 60 forms? You don't have to do it that way when you chunk and you realize the singular genitive all has that long I. The accusative singular all has that M ending. The ablative and dative singular all have that O ending, so we've just elongated the chunk. Then we have the long I in the nominative plural, right? So instead of just horti, now it's pueri, gladii. Long AS or long OS for the plural accusative. Long IS for the plural ablative and plural dative. That's a nice big long chunk. Genitive plural has the nice aurum, 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 aurum. And then, of course, adding up to it, we also have the nice big chunk between the nominative, singular dative, singular genitive, and plural nominative. They all are the same form. You'll have to know from context. But for memorization, it's really good to just chunk it. Then, of course, you have here the singular nominative and accusative of neuter, which we saw last chapter being the same, plural nominative and accusative, which we saw last chapter being a. And then second declensions, third declension, you still have es, es, ibus, ibus. So when we do it that way, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 chunks. And then to memorize the other stuff, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 22 forms really to memorize. If you do it right, you've got to memorize. Now, to look at these nouns, let's figure out what declension they would be in. So these are various nouns. Some of them are nominative, some of them are ablative, but all of them we've seen. Let's look at collina, a short A. What declension is that? It's probably first declension. That's right. How about filius? Oh, there's that IUS. So it's what? Second declension, but really more precisely, it's 2I. And then finally, grumio, one of those strange third declensions. Be aware of that. And then we'll play with it from there. All right, so the key is to figure out what family a noun works in. Because remember, the ending will determine the case, and the case will tell you the phrase, how it's being used grammatically. So let's begin with an intervention question. The plural genitive is gladios, gladii, gladiis, gladio, gladiorum. Well, we know it's not gladiis, that's ablative or dative plural. We know it's not gladio, that's singular ablative. We know it's not gladios, that's plural accusative. So we have this one or this one. Well, both are genitive, but what you're asking for the plural genitive, and that would be gladiorum. All right, let's talk about the accusative object phrase. The purpose of the accusative by itself is to determine who gets the action of the verb. The subject does the verb, the object receives the verb. So Caesar, verb, praises Brutus. Canem amicus salutat. Well, amicus is the nominative subject phrase. We first go to the verb salutat, greets. Who greets? The friend greets, accusative object phrase, the dog. Word order doesn't matter in Latin. Not really. Amicus salutat servum. This is nice English word order. Salutat greets. Who greets? Nominative subject phrase. The friend greets the servant, not the dog. So let's figure out how it would analyze. So we have salutat. Just write this down. Verb, third singular, present indicative active, simple present active. Greets. Okay? So let's start with the subject phrase. Which one of these is nominative? Well, amicus. Nominative plus no other signal. Subject phrase, the friend. Servum. That ending tells you serva, servum. It's an accusative. Accusative, no other signals. It's an object phrase, the slave. So the friend, putting back into English order, greets the slave. Do you know those girls? Okay, let's look at English. Know is the verb. Who's doing the knowing? You. Who do they know? Girls. So, subject is you, verb is know. Girls would be an object phrase, would be accusative. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's puellas. Okay. Now let's add two new prepositional phrases. We've already learned in plus ablative, place phrase. Now we're going to learn odd plus accusative. The preposition odd with a noun in the accusative makes a limit phrase. To or toward, limit. While we have X plus the ablative means a source phrase, like out of, like exit. Now, odd, of course, is adduce, addition, or other things like that. So, Quintus ex horto ambulat. Quintus walks out of the garden. Quintus e villa ambulat. Quintus walks out of the house. Now let's go the other way. From X, let's go to odd. Odd plus accusative is a limit phrase. So he comes to the house, odd plus accusative. And, go back. And Caecilius comes to the forum, odd again, plus the accusative. Caecilius comes to the forum. So here's our sample sentence we need to write out. Ambulat, verb, third singular, present indicative active, simple present active plus, what's this thing called? Subject phrase. All Latin verbs have a subject phrase in them. We know it's third person singular. He, she, he, or it, she, it, walks. Walks what? Ad forum. Odd plus accusative, limit phrase to the forum. E plus willa, that should be a long mark right there. E willa, I thought we learned X. Well, it's X before vowels and E before consonants. X plus ablative source phrase, out of the house. So if you need to go back through these, there's that video lecture that's done on a slide above this video, and you can stop and write anything down there. All right, so what do we got? Pulcher equus est. So we have is. What is the est? The equus. Well, if you don't remember equestrian, that's okay. You just know that's nominative. So there's a nominative subject phrase. This is where? In agro, in agrum, ager, agrum. Could it be an equational phrase? No, it's probably in plus the ablative, which would be A. All right, so that's what we've covered in this grammar lecture. I need you to come up with your questions, everything you need to know for tomorrow, and make sure you've got it highlighted, notes in there, and I'll be grading it at the door. And any questions you have, we will cover them there. Have a great night.